broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What did I tell you about dancing, you two? Come on, break it down. Yeah.
This is my jam, but I'm still on the show.
Everybody, hello, and welcome to the Total Divas After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. We do like to jam it out and dance a little bit. That's our theme song. This one was episode 10, season 4, Gone with the Wind.
Do you remember the titles of the previous episodes?
Yeah, you were mentioning that they're kind of doing a classic movie.
I don't know. Here, look at it. You got a computer, right? Look up what the name the titles of the episodes. But Gone with the Wind, It's a Beautiful Life. Was that one of them?
Yeah, with a question mark at the end.
It's a Beautiful Life?
Yes. Well, listen, things are kind of getting crazy on Total Divas, and we are going to break it all down for you. My name is Christy Olson, and I'm so happy to be here with you. You all can chat along with me at Christy Reports. You can tweet along with us, hashtag ABTV Total Divas, and we want to hear what you all have to say. Follow the AFTERBUZZ team at twitter.com/AFTERBUZZTV. I know that you all have joined us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and help me out here. We're everywhere. Yes, we are everywhere. Please rate us 5 stars, give us a thumbs up, and we kind of want to know what you have to say in the comments. So tell us below what you think about the episode, what you think about our show. We love to hear from you and chat along with you, and we're going to do that all episode long because Paulina over there is on the chat roll. Paulina, tell them who you are and what's up, girl.
Hey, everyone. I'm Paulina Aguilar, and you can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar.
Yeah.
And you are?
We're not alone.
I am George Hermoza, and you can follow me on Twitter at @GHermoza and on Instagram at @GHermoza. It's the same one.
All right, let's get into this.
But real quick, I was looking at some of the last episodes, but I guess they had Gone with the Wind was this, Clash of the Divas, obviously Clash of the Titans, It's a Beautiful Life, and of course the one before that, a classic movie, No Holds Barred, but this one was called No Holds Bar.
That's right.
So they are kind of going with the movie thing. So No Holds Barred, one of the greatest movies of all time.
That's right. And I kind of like to think that we are up on all the Total Divas gossip here. We have dropped some major Total Divas news in the last 2 weeks. We're going to have an update for you and some brand new Total Divas news that we predicted before anybody else. Listen, at this point, I kind of just assume that you're watching this show because me and George and Paulina know what's up and we're going to tell you what's up. So let's recap the show, but then we're going to get to that news and gossip that you all love too. This was a great episode, yeah? What do you guys think?
Absolutely. The cupcakes were amazing.
George brought us some cupcakes, and
Sesame Street cupcakes, by the way.
Amazing. But I assume the rest of you are probably hanging out and having maybe a little bit of wine while watching Gone with the Wind.
Or if it's in the East Coast, it's what? 11, 12, 1 in the morning, so please stay up. Thank you for joining us.
And we appreciate that very much. Paulina, is anyone on the chat roll saying anything crazy about this episode? What did our fans seem to think?
Not yet. I think we need to get into the episode first.
Let's get them rolling.
Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, listen, we opened up today by learning that, Trinity, bless her heart. I love her.
She has such good intentions.
Yes. And she's going to take the whole family on a trip. Whole fam. What did you guys think about this? Did we anticipate disaster?
Wrong. Well, everything went wrong. I've never been camping. I went once in up north by San Francisco for a couple of days, but it wasn't. No, I like to travel, and I do travel a lot, but camping is not one of them. I would like to do that. You're from Minnesota, so tell us what it's like.
You're not missing anything. I have been dragged to many a campground in my younger years and onto many a lake in a boat, and let me tell you about mosquitoes, honey. Mosquitoes and dirt and tents, and this isn't one of those glamorous, cute things that the divas do, right? Like, she got this is her husband's brother, his twin brother, and his wife and children, and Tamina, their cousin, and they got everybody all up in the bus, and they are going to go on this RV. Now, my family always went camping, like I said, in a tent, and like we were pitched at the campground. Right. But this whole RV thing is a whole nother ball game. What did you guys think about this?
I've never been in an RV, nor have I ever been camping, but honestly, it all looked like fun to me.
Wow, I didn't realize that this was such a You guys are both Californians.
Hello, we were born and raised in the Valley.
Yeah.
Opposite valleys, actually. That's funny. No, my vacations, honestly, were in hotels, and I've traveled quite a few places. My mom doesn't like camping. That's why we never did it. My dad did it growing up, but no. Not ever, but it looks like fun. But my ideal camping thing everything would go wrong. That's exactly what happened.
You're so right. Like literally one time I remember the tent started on fire from like my dad was cooking the eggs or whatever in the morning time. Tent started on fire, like flames over his head. I mean, it's not fun. It's not cute. This is not something that you would expect the Bella twins or Trinity and John to go out and head out and do.
Don't you think it depends on who you're with as well, though?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So all those things can maybe turn into like, I mean, looking back, did you not have fun? Do you not cherish those memories?
Are they not good stories, though?
You need to go to therapy for
that. I read a lot of books during that time.
Okay.
Read a lot of books.
I mean, going back to it, Trinity has good intentions. She tried very hard. She had a whole family there. They got into an argument. John was a gentleman and apologized, and you know it worked out in the end, which is what she wanted.
What are you doing with that DVD in your hand?
Promote. Yes, you can get this, and we all want you to love it. You will love it, and so that's what I was doing with that.
But, I mean,
and now back to camping.
Again, go back to Trinity, because going back to 2-3 weeks ago, you can tell she always has the best intentions at heart, and it's not one of those things where you look at Natty where like, well, she had the best intentions and lying. This is the complete different thing. Is that she's not doing anything malicious or trying to hurt anyone at all or trying to hide anything from anyone. She's literally trying to get the whole family. She even refers to John's kids as our kids.
Yeah,
even though they're not biologically her kids, she still, that just shows that how much she cares and tries and really looks at them as family, not just as my husband's kids. It's my family as well. So.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so.
No, I just think this idea as far as camping was such a good one, just because everyone got to disconnect, and that was the point, especially today. Everyone's on their phones, everyone's on their laptop, everyone's doing something viral.
Yeah.
So camping is, let's go back in time and actually talk to people. I thought it was a good
I think
idea.
part of it is I've never had a big family, at least here in the States. So yeah, I look at that, I'm like, man, that must be so cool to have. Like I would love to go camping in that scenario. Obviously with the RV, because I'd be spoiled. I need my own toilet, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would look at that. I'm sure they're going to look back at that.
We don't need any more details there.
I'm sure they can look back and they're going to look back at that journey and say, wow, that was a good time. So.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we loved having Trinity back in the mix, is that she does have this step family with John, and none of the other divas have the kids yet. They're all talking about it quite a bit, but she has this family to sort of display, and we can kind of go along with them, and it really is fun, and we will definitely go along the trip with them later. But I want to get to a really interesting conversation between Eva Marie's new manager, Danny, who is a huge deal. Now, George, you were kind of cluing us into this while we were watching. Tell everybody out there who Danny is.
Now, that's The Rock's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Can I just
who's
jump
also,
in?
I believe, is The Rock's manager.
Jump in. We're here real quick, way off topic. Marcus Joseph says the Patriots are cheaters because of your jersey.
Dead on, Marcus.
First off,
dead on.
This is a WWE Total Divas AFTERBUZZ after show. I don't know
that you chose to wear a Patriots jersey on.
I don't know why that was even brought up.
Because
it was.
I'm trying to be here, talking about Total Divas, and now people are bringing up the
supporting a big
Patriots?
fat cheater. You know what? I have more trouble with Brady and his
You want to
emotional cheating and the babies and the thing.
I apologize. Let's go back.
We can talk sports. You guys are the sports people. I'm not the sports person.
But we're on Total Divas.
Listen, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But so Danny is The Rock's ex-wife and is still his manager.
From what I always hear, obviously they have a child together, but from what I always hear, on the best of terms. Like, even, I remember when they broke up not too long ago, just they put out a statement, says we're the best of friends. And obviously, we always hear the same thing. Whenever there's a big-time couple that's
a run-of-the-mill statement.
We're always going to stay in touch. We always have love for each other. But the difference is, we actually see this played on, not just on Total Divas, but we always see these on The Rock's Facebook or Instagram, and, pictures of them together. I think not too long ago, there was maybe a picture with The Rock's girlfriend and his ex-wife on the same, very, like, Bruce Ashton Demi-ish kind of thing, but now she's, obviously I don't think a recurring character, but now she's on Total Divas, so it kind of fits in full circle with the whole professional wrestling thing. She's not just a manager, but she's The Rock's ex-wife / manager / business partner, now managing Eva Marie.
Well, we got mad respect for like a single mom doing her thing. It's still cool with The Rock. I like to hear that. And when they were talking about Eva signed with this big manager who was the manager of The Rock, I am sort of ashamed to say I immediately pictured a man, a big time Hollywood agency manager type guy, and this is a girl power chick. And she is sort of willing to help Eva get on the map. And I thought what was really interesting about this conversation was that someone like Danny doesn't take on just anybody. And they certainly wouldn't even take on just anybody in the WWE. She is out to look for the next big thing, the next Rock in the WWE. So the fact that she has signed Eva Marie says so much. And even in this conversation where Eva is saying, I'm ready to put the work in, I'm ready to do the thing. And we certainly have heard a lot of rumors from behind the scenes lately that WWE is ready to give her that push. So this was just an interesting conversation. What did you, as kind of a non-wrestling fan, Paulina, what did you take away from this?
Well, I don't know much about Danny. I didn't even know that was The Rock's ex-wife, let alone her.
I honestly didn't either.
I just thought it was a manager in the business who wanted to take her on. And if that's what Eva wants to do, then so be it. Why not? She's got the door of opportunity. I mean, you'd be an idiot not to take it.
For sure.
So I'm all for it. I think I've always been an Eva supporter as far as like her hair extension line, and she wants to be the next Rock. That's fine. Go for it.
Yeah.
And we've seen many times on The Rock's Facebook and Instagram, that guy works like non-stop. Like, that guy is on such a routine, waking up at 4:30 in the morning,
drinking his egg whites, doing his gym time,
gym, working, Instagramming all those, things with him and Kevin Hart or whoever he's, acting with at the time, and goes to bed late. Like, that guy's just non-stop hard work. I mean, for goodness sakes, on Saturday Night Live, hosted Saturday Night Live, literally flew across the country to WrestleMania in San Jose or Santa Clara to show up the following day. So that's just shows just how crazy of a schedule that he chooses to have. Because not to say that the WrestleMania was great without him or with him, but it would have been great no matter what. But the fact that he decided to go cross country just for that, like, he wanted to be there,
Yeah, and this is the kind of lifestyle that someone like Danny can set up for someone like Eva Marie and really make her into that next Rock superstar.
And she genuinely seems like she wants it and she's ready for it.
Yeah,
I know Jonathan, we saw him struggling tonight with just taking a couple phone calls.
He hosted 4 times, guys. The Rock hosted 4 times on SNL, just correcting somebody in the chat room.
Oh, you just got G-hermed, whoever you are. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching and being in with us, but you got corrected. I'm sorry. I didn't know either, so it's all right. But, speaking of kind of the women, the champ, and putting the work in, we see that Nikki Bella is starting to unravel a little bit at this point. And I got to tell you guys, this is a storyline that had me really concerned.
Really?
We saw the first look a couple days in and saw the first 15 minutes. And I love Nikki, and I think that she is a stand-up champion. I think that she is a good role model and that she's inspirational to a lot of people. So to see her sort of unravel like this was really kind of upsetting, right?
A little bit.
I think it was upsetting. At the same time, she's human. I mean, you can only take on so much. You giving your all to everybody that you possibly can in a day. At some point, you're going to unravel. At some point, you're going to be stressed. At some point, you're going to feel some type of way where you're going to have to look for some help somewhere. I mean, it's sad to see, but I'm not surprised.
Yes.
It could have happened to anybody regardless of who the champion was.
Right. And I would think that this happens on a daily basis with some superstar or diva or another going to Mark Carrano and saying, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I mean, they are on the road more than 300 days a week. And there's, I think, an added pressure, especially for the divas and someone like Nikki, who has been questioned by the wrestling fans. And, you know, she doesn't just wrestle in the ring. She goes out and does the appearances and represents, and those days off become filming days for Total Divas.
Right.
You know, a lot of times their schedule is, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's Thursday through Wednesday. Right, and they fly Thursday through Tuesday, and they fly home Wednesday.
Like that,
so they literally don't even have a day really at home. And Nikki said in this episode, she hasn't been home to her house with John in 7 weeks.
It's a long time.
7 weeks.
I'm very big on like home. Like I love to travel, I love to be out and about. But there's no matter what, no matter how uncomfortable physically the bed is, nothing's more comfortable but than being in your own bed, taking a shower in your own bathroom. You know.
And I agree, but at the same time, you choose to be in Hollywood business. I mean, WWE is a sport, and you know you do the live Monday Night Raw, but you also signed on to do Total Divas.
Yeah.
Considering the biz. So,
you signed for it.
You do your contract, and if you don't want to do that anymore and you don't like your schedule, then you don't sign on next season.
I think in some point, I mean, obviously from the outside looking in, it does look very glamorous, and it really is. It is a sexy job, you know?
For sure.
Getting travel all over the world, but it's not even just traveling all over the world. And I've talked to some of these guys, I know you have as well, and girls, that some of these countries and cities they go to, they don't even get a chance to sightsee. So it's not even, they're going to work. They're not going to vacation. They're not going to sightsee. They're not going to relax. They're going to work. So you're always on the clock. So just all the traveling, it doesn't surprise me that at some point it does get to them, even if it's for a day or two. If they just need 3 days to just kind of relax, it does unsurprisingly get to them, and rightfully so.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see this kind of play out with Nikki. But Eva is dealing with this a little bit as well. Her husband, Jonathan, is not happy with all the time that she spent away. And, you know, these two, I really love seeing these two play out because we've kind of seen them from, not the exact beginning of their relationship, from getting engaged and getting married. And we've seen them struggle with Eva taking the time for Jonathan and for them both taking the time away from her career to not be manager and client. And so this is just something that is sort of continuing to play out. And poor Jonathan is laid waiting for over an hour at a restaurant for Eva. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're Jonathan, right, you sort of are, you're expecting that and you're okay with it. And I think maybe that's what sort of keeps them going at the end of the day, is that he knows what he signed up for, being Mr. Eva, even before he was Mr. Eva, even before she was Eva. He knew what he was getting into, and she just has such blazing support from him.
Right, but even if you're not in the spotlight, that support should be there anyway, regardless, especially if you're husband and wife. That's what you're vowing to do, is to be there through good and bad. And if that's what she wants to do, then so be it. It's, you know, I think it's a different view. Usually we see the husband taking on a lot of jobs and opportunity, and the woman stay home and take care of the kids and the house and all that stuff. And now it's a little bit the other way around, even though they don't have kids. But hey, she's doing a lot of the work as well. Doesn't mean to disregard him of his work ethic and stuff and his projects, but
because he's working for her.
Right, but I mean, he's going to take a little bit, take a seat in the back and kind of watch her do her thing.
I mean,
which should be okay.
This is the part where maybe you guys can educate me, because I'm maybe just a little bit clueless. But my thing is, if they're married, they have the rest of their lives to spend with each other.
Right.
So what is he getting upset about? Like, oh, you're an hour late. Today's not a work day. You know, just like, dude, get over it. She that's her lifestyle. That's her life now. And I just thought it was a little like, okay, get over it, Jonathan.
I think it's just more of a little attention thing that what. Her coach had said, yes. He had said, you know what, he just wants a little love. That's it. You know, they do go to bed together, they wake up together, but I mean, they do want that time in between that as well. I mean, they each travel. We see that a lot, so it's hard. I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah, and if you're going to take advice from anybody, Brian Kendrick is a good guy to take advice from. She's been getting a lot of in-ring training from him, but I think when he sits back and gives her a little relationship advice, she should listen, and she does seem to, for sure. Yeah.
And can we talk about the phone in the car and that whole thing about throwing it out the window? First of all, I thought Jonathan was going to get mad at her for taking the call. Thank God he didn't. It was just good news, and he was very supportive. But the whole phone thing was just a little over the top. I mean, come on.
Listen, Herm is very upset about this. He's been mad since we saw the first look.
So do you want to tell him why?
I'm waiting to see if anybody in the chat row even noticed what I noticed about the whole phone situation. It's okay, I'll wait.
Okay. We like to lay it out for you all. We consider ourselves sort of the reality TV experts, and we like to point out for you when maybe they've overlooked something.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's watching, because they're going to be like,
ruining it.
Because I think there's still a lot of non-wrestling fans. I think Paulina was a little hurt when I told her what I told her.
Here's the thing. No, because I major in film, so I look for things that you have found, which I hope you tell the viewers what you did.
Okay, fine.
Just say it.
So
I'm not upset by it. I'm just like, okay, well.
We've dropped so much exclusive news here. We have figured out so many things before they need to be figured out for these fans that if they didn't want to be spoiled, they wouldn't be watching this show. They're watching this show because we know what's up, and they want to hear it. So tell us, George.
And just to warn you guys, this is reality, okay? Not all of it is real.
So yeah, first things first is reality show. And I've worked on reality TV behind the scenes before, and I've noticed a couple things. One is things don't look as spontaneous as they appear to be.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two is there are at times where certain storylines are that you see on TV, not just Total Divas at all, reality is maybe embellished. And number three is editing is their best friend, because they can edit to make it however they want. So what I noticed in the whole phone is when she, of course, put her phone out to the window and Jonathan braked, I guess is the password of break or whatever. Yeah, that's
put
weird.
The brakes on?
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Put the brakes on.
So put the brakes on, and she dropped her phone. That wasn't her phone. I don't care when anybody says that wasn't her phone, because I know a Samsung phone when I see one. And I have never, ever seen on the show, previous and both before and after on that part, her ever have a Samsung phone. She's always had an iPhone. We saw it
with
earlier.
The red case earlier in the scene.
But even we saw it earlier, not just with the case, but when the first time Mark Carano called, and it had the iPhone ringtone, and it had the whole, the green, red kind of screen. That's an iPhone. And I think even earlier, when they first got into that car, she had the iPhone because of the camera on the side, not in the middle, like the phone that she dropped. So when I saw that phone break, and it was a Samsung phone, oh my God, it got me so insanely heated. And it was like,
I love it.
And it was okay, don't get me wrong, I love the show. Mostly because of WWE. Let's get it twisted. I'm not a reality show fan, just the whole WWE aspect. And we'll get to something I'm not allowed to say, except more than one time in a second, and I love that part of the episode. But can you at least try not to make it look so fake?
In her defense,
I appreciate that.
I am going to say, in her defense, some people have two phones. What if she had two phones? You have a work phone and a
sudden.
Not all of a sudden.
A hubby phone and a hoe phone?
I watch reality TV, and I do watch the Kardashians.
I know the Kardashians have a hoe phone.
But what I'm saying is I've seen, top celebrities or very important people with a BlackBerry and an iPhone. They have two phones, one's for work and one's for personal. You don't know. Maybe it was staged for her to drop a fake phone, and maybe it was her work phone. You don't know.
I do know.
Because it was two different phones.
And I even went all Christy Olson on Eva Marie's Instagram. So I was like, all right, let's go back 9, 12, 13 weeks. Let's see if she's ever taken a selfie with a Samsung phone. Nope, it's always been an iPhone with the red case.
All right, well, let's leave that up to the viewers to
I'm infiltrating everyone's brain at this point. You all are suspicious of everything you see on reality TV. I apologize, but you all are better people for it. Just trust me. So thank you all for that little blurby. But speaking of, and this is something that we'll get to that we predicted a long time ago, speaking of Mama Bella, but in this scene, we saw Mama Bella head out with Brie to look at, some for their fitness studio. And this is one where I went, oh, this isn't a fake storyline they're feeding us, because it was a couple weeks ago and I thought that was going to be a flash in the pan. They went with JJ and now they're done. But really, it seems like they are going to open this fitness studio, and Mama Bella and Brie went out and had a little peek ski at some places, and they were not happy with Nicole not being available. again, Nicole is the Divas champion. She probably, her schedule is maybe 50% busier or more packed than even Bree's is and even the other Divas are. So I would not fault her for not answering a FaceTime phone call, but Bree and Mama Bella sure seem to.
I can understand where they're coming from, because if someone agrees to take up a business, let alone a family business, on top of what they've already got, I better see you available. Mm-hmm. You better be available. If not, don't sign up. Don't sign that contract. Mm-hmm. Just keep your load as it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see where that's going to go, because I just do not understand how Nikki and Brie are going to have the time to oversee a fitness studio. And if Mama Bella and her money and her new man, which we will talk about very soon, have the time to do that, that makes more sense. But I don't know about
they're
that.
going to live, because I think he lives in Florida. So is he moving to Arizona?
Well, we'll get to that when we get to news and gossip. Let's go on with Nikki and therapy.
Yes. Well, Brie and Mama Bella both want Nikki to go to therapy.
Right.
And I'm glad that we could bring this up, because I want to talk a little bit about this. Nikki sort of seems to be on the wavelength I'm on, where I'm like, listen, we don't go and talk about stuff and we're fine. Right. So leave us alone. Right. That's my sort of take on it. We don't dredge things up. We don't go back and rehash things, and it's cool.
Have you been to therapy before?
Absolutely not. I don't plan on ever doing it. And I don't look down on people who do it, but I come from the school of, like, if I just forget about it and don't think about it and don't talk about it, then I'll be fine after a while. Right. Whereas if I go and talk it out, I get myself more wound up and get myself more upset. And for a lot of people, I think it maybe is the opposite of that. But therapy is definitely, it's not for me. And I could certainly see how it maybe isn't for Nikki, but a lot of people would have a different take on that.
Right. How about you, George?
Never been to therapy.
No.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, I was just saying, a lot of times, I like to think that I have a good group around me as far as friends go. Mm-hmm. Friends as in my professional wrestlers that I watch all the time. I really do watch too much wrestling. But honestly, it does kind of calm me down in some ways. Whenever I have a bad day, or whenever I just feel down, dude, seriously, I just put on the WWE Network and just watch.
I love that.
Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not even joking. It really, like, something that I just grown up as a child, and really, when all else fails, professional wrestling.
Right, but Nikki seems so drained and overwhelmed and just out of energy that she needed time to get away, which she wanted to go to the vineyard and up north to Napa Valley. But, I mean, therapy seemed to work for her. Mm-hmm. She went.
Yeah, well, she was apprehensive about it before, and she told kind of a really touching story about she went with her family, and it sounds like both Mama Bella and their father were concerned when they got divorced and had the kids in therapy, and she didn't have a good experience with that. So again, understandable as to why she wouldn't kind of be down for it.
Right.
For sure, but they're definitely pressuring her. And at the same time, we see the Fatu family heading out on their own little sort of therapeutic vacay. This was really, really cute. I think anytime now we know, like, if we're going to get Trinity and John and the kids, it's going to be cute and fun. Tamina's along for the ride, who I always just love to see Tamina, because she's kind of my girl now. So, the air conditioning is out, and this is one of those things you guys said, we're not campers, we don't know anything about this. Like, does that sound like fun to you?
Yeah, I would go.
Being along with the fam?
Yeah. I love road trips.
Who's family?
Well, listen, the Fatus,
how about that?
I'm expecting are a lot of fun, right? Yeah. Like John and Josh, they have all these names. The WWE, they're John and Jay, but here they're Don and Josh.
John and Jimmy.
John and Jimmy. No, Jimmy, Jay. See, that's what I'm saying. They're Jimmy like Jay, Jimmy, Josh, Jay, John.
Jimmy and Jay are the Usos, and then John and Josh
are their real names, right? Okay, so they got the whole family along, and it's a full house. By all means, and the air conditioning was out.
Very full house and very like Family Matters kind of.
Yeah,
how you go?
Cute.
You go with a family sitcom now.
I what?
Right. You go the family.
You just got to take it step by step.
There we go.
Yes.
And you can see definitely their growing pains.
Nice.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
We've been talking about the Bellas getting a spinoff, but I sort of feel like we've all talked that up and we've given you several titles for a Trinity and John spinoff right there. So more on that later. But Eva and Jonathan, this is the point at where
comment got me rolling.
I like that show.
And someday AfterBuzz will go back and break down all your favorite old school TV shows. I'll be there for probably Step by Step and Full House and all those good ones.
I call called Punky Brewster, by the way.
Oh, that's too far back for me, honey.
Small Wonder. Wait, how old are you?
She is. I mean, just a few years older than you.
Don't ever ask a woman that. Ever.
We asked you earlier.
So I'll be celebrating the 6th anniversary of my 24th birthday. I'm 24.
You look amazing for 24.
I know. Anyway, so Eva throws her phone out the window. We already talked about that. George isn't buying it. Paulina is. I'm kind of torn on the whole thing. Either way, I'd like to see Eva and Jonathan break down their whole relationship because they're one of the few we see where Jonathan isn't in WWE. And we really hope to have Jonathan on the show sometime soon. He probably will be, so stay tuned for that.
I do appreciate and respect very much of Jonathan's patience.
Yes.
Because he's got a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm. He sure does. And even Eva Marie, when she was here with Kaori and I chatted about that, and she said, you know, he jokes around a lot about their future and their life, but he really just loves her and has accepted what comes along with being with her. Yeah. And I won't be surprised when they are together forever, even if she becomes this huge Divas champion for the next 10 years. I really think they're going to stick it out. But on the other hand, we've got Ms. Brie Bella and somebody else who's from the WWE. I don't know what her name is. But they all go to Napa Valley. I don't know what her name is. But they all go to Napa Valley. Nikki needs a break.
Yeah, why don't
it's not that I don't like her. I'm just ready for her.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, she doesn't know who she is.
Okay, she is the Christy Olson of the WWE, and I'm just ready. It's not that I don't like her. I'm just ready for her to go to ESPN so that I can have her job.
Oh.
Yeah, I talked her for a long time, and I realized that's not cute, and it's just really about talking her up because she's fantastic. She's so great that she should go to ESPN and give me her job.
They're going to forget the fact that she is gorgeous.
That I won't comment on. I will just let George say.
Because it's true that she's insanely gorgeous.
Okay, George had a limit. George was told that he could say the words Renee Young and bikini in one sentence one time.
I haven't said it yet.
You haven't said it yet. Would you like to?
Well, are we there yet?
We are there.
Which is not a good movie, by the way. But
speaking of your classic films. All right, so the ladies touched down in Napa Valley. I remember seeing this on their Instagrams a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. They went to a country music festival. They sort of just seemed to kind of take the day off and have a fun country girl time. Yeah. What do you think?
That looks like fun. I've never been to Napa Valley. I know. I want to go.
Either.
So yeah, I'm all for it.
I've never been either. Have you?
Wine and country music? No, heck no. I've never been anywhere.
No? Have you been to Vegas?
Nope.
Really?
No, I'm very.
Gotta get you out there,
I know. I'm ashamed because I feel like it makes me sound uncultured, but I am very untraveled.
How long have you lived in Los Angeles?
7.5 years. I haven't even been to San Diego or North. No, I know. I'm a workaholic, y'all.
San Diego.
I've been saying this on all my shows. FFAK. I feel better at work. It was Memorial Weekend. I was here. This is what I do.
Labor Day weekend.
This is what I do. Oh, I always get them mixed up. All right, so listen, you feel like the ladies need a little therapy, yes?
Yeah, why not? You work your butt off. You make money, why not? That's why, I mean, honestly, I pride myself on a work ethic, and if I'm going to work my butt off, you be damn straight, I'm going to go take a really nice vacation.
Mm-hmm. And Brie got to go along. I mean, she was sort of like, oh, if you're tired, then give me the Divas Championship.
In a joking manner, as a sister. It's what you do. I've done that with my siblings. It's just a joke, but at the end of the day, she supports her. She does. Her in the car. She definitely does. What? Stay in the car. Or
behind every joke, there's a little bit of truth in it.
That's true, but you know what, Paulina, you're right. I mean, I kind of rip on Brie a lot, but when they were in the car, she was saying to Nikki, like, you're not in this alone. Right. You have me. And I think that kind of is a distinction between the two of them versus an Eva or really anyone else. Like, the Bella twins have each other on the road. Right. They've had each other since before they were born. So that's got to be a bit of a comfort. But the Fatu family isn't faring so well. They're dealing with some weather issues. They're at a cemetery. I mean, does this turn out to be the family vacay that you all would have wanted to be on?
Most
not
likely
a cemetery,
not. No. Maybe because I'm sure they were building it up. I think John was saying just when he was a kid, he used to love coming here. So I'm sure his kids and Trinity were hearing all about it. So probably it was a little heartbreaking to see what it become now.
Yeah.
What it became now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I have next.
Napa?
Eva John.
What about Napa?
Do we
They were all dancing.
All right, you didn't get your. Okay. All right. For our male fans, now I would like to turn the table to George
I'm just
Hermoza,
saying.
who would like to discuss the ladies in their bikinis.
I'm just saying,
dancing
I have
around.
been waiting. I've been waiting for seeing Renee Young in a bikini for the longest time because I think she is gorgeous. Plus, by the way, and I do like to see girls dance. By the way, I don't know. I have a thing for
In
watching.
bikinis?
Tell me what guy
He
doesn't.
won't
I don't know what it
complain.
is. I just have a thing for watching girls dance. And speaking of dancing, by the way.
Oh my
like
goodness.
that?
Listen, honey, if you like to watch girls dance, you can watch some families dance. And you guys all out there might remember this dance battle casting that we were telling you about a few months ago. Well, it started with Maria Menounos and some people that you all know, Derek and Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars, a couple of our faves. 2 years ago on Instagram, they started this kind of battle with Maria Menounos, and now it is America's chance to dance. There have been 8 families that we chose to come to LA and battle it out. Make sure you check it out, you guys. This is going to be epic. Set your DVRs. The show is called Dance Battle America, and it airs on ABC Monday, September 14th. Now, this is following the Dancing with the Stars premiere at 10 p.m. You do not want to miss it. Dance Battle America. Our girl Maria Menounos, Julianne Hough, and her family have put this on for you, and it's going to be so good. So make sure you guys don't miss that. September 14th, right after Dancing with the Stars. I know I will be watching. And
Back
I'm
to Renee Young in a bathing suit, by the way. You said
There's your
bikini.
set!
You said bikini. But back to Renee. I mean, let me just say that Dean Ambrose, luckiest guy in the world. Enough said.
Well, he made some comments this week, too.
We can move on now.
All right, moving on. Moving on, Eva gets a little bit of advice from somebody who she should be asking advice from, Brian Kendrick, on this whole marriage and relationship thing. Now, for the folks who out there who don't know, Brian Kendrick himself is married to a wrestler, right? Like his wife was on Tough Enough.
Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Taylor Matheny.
Yeah, so he knows a little bit about being on the road and doing the relationship thing, and he gives her some advice that I think he should take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, especially now because especially Eva's got to work maybe twice or 3 times as hard because Carano called her saying we're going to move up, we're trying to move you up on the road a couple weeks in advance.
I love it when Carano calls. Listen, Mark Carano, if you want to call me and tell me it's time to move me up, I'm ready. I got it. It's right here. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
So, obviously, and we've seen her kind of not just on past episodes of Total Divas, but even on NXT. I don't think so much on like Raw or SmackDown, but we've seen her on NXT, with the vignettes and even in a couple matches. I think she's had maybe like 4 or 5 matches since she kind of came back on, whether it's in Florida or obviously in Brooklyn. So
but by all reports, they want her to be the next NXT Women's Champion.
Hope not. I really hope not.
I'm with you on that, but the reports say that's where they're going with it.
I'll go on in a little bit on why I think not that I think it's a bad idea. I think if it's organic, I think it's a great idea.
For sure.
But I think if they just do it just to do it, I think it's a horrible. And I tell you why I think it's not going to happen.
Okay.
But we can talk about it later.
Okay, agreed. And we'll get to that news and gossip. But Brie this was an interesting scene to me. Brie totally kind of outs Nikki to the bartender in Napa Valley. And this is one of those things. I know, Paulina, you and I have done a lot of extensive restaurant work.
Yes.
I've been that bartender behind the bar, cleaning it up while everybody's trying to tell you their troubles, and you kind of smile and nod along. And listen, if Brie and Nikki wanted to come to my bar and tell me their troubles, I would be all ears. But I don't know that this poor guy in Napa really needed to hear all this. And I sympathize with Nikki for Brie telling her whole business to everybody.
But that comes with the job as far as being a bartender, let alone in that business. But that's like going to the hair salon and telling your hairstylist, about your day of whatever you went through that day.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. And if you can tell, they were a little bit intoxicated. And when you're intoxicated, things come out. And that's exactly what we saw.
That's right. Well, Nikki should probably be talking to John instead of her local bartender about the way she's feeling. Which she definitely
It's
did
funny
too.
because I'm trying to think, obviously Brie's got that huge rock, but I'm trying to think if I was the bartender or any other guy in that bar place seeing these 3 gorgeous lady comes in, it's like, oh, wow, I wonder if I have a chance. No, you don't. you should see these 3 guys or the 3 guys that they're going out
those 3
with.
girls are with. Yeah.
So
at least George would know not to even try.
Yeah. I'd be like,
even creepy George knows not to try.
Trust me, you guys got no
It doesn't even
chance.
look like he was trying. It just looks like he was there doing his job and being nice.
Yeah, well, we kind of live for these convos between John and Nikki because he sort of is the voice of reason and he is super wise. He's been in the business a little bit longer than her. He certainly has sustained a lot, and he is one of the hardest working guys in this business. I just always say these WWE folks, they put in more hours. They're on the road more days. They give more to fans than I think any celebrity in Hollywood. But someone like John Cena, who recently granted his 500th Make-A-Wish, his 500th Make-A-Wish. This is a guy who doesn't go home on his off days.
Yeah.
He goes and does those things on his off days. He appears on the Jimmy Fallon show and does all that kind of stuff. So this is the prime person for her to talk to, and it just happens to be somebody who cares an awful lot about her.
And he said the right thing.
For sure.
Yeah, and that made her change her mind a little bit and actually go to therapy. But I agree with what he said as far as, like, you know, you can vent to your friends as much as you want. You can vent to your parents or your family or whatever you turn to. But I think they're also going to be biased to where if you go to a stranger, that may not be the greatest ideas. Telling someone you completely don't even know all your problems, at the same time, they won't judge you. You know, they don't know your past, they don't know what you've done, what you've seen or anything like that, and they can just give you genuine, out of the box perspective on things, which is what worked for her.
Yeah,
she loved it.
Yeah, and with so much advice coming from all different areas, from her family and from her WWE cohorts, I mean, I understand why that was kind of welcoming to her. So I was just really glad to see her sort of come full circle at the end and be okay. And we watched this play out throughout the week. We kind of saw in the preview last week, Nikki Bella's going to have a trouble, and I was really upset. I was really worried about it. And then we saw the first look, and I was like, oh no, what's happening with Nikki Bella? But it looks like she's going to be okay.
You love Nikki Bella.
I do love her. We know she's still got that title.
You know
I'm sick over what's going to happen with this title. You mean Stephanie Nicole?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Oh,
Like,
I know.
her first name's Stephanie.
I know. But I don't think they ever called her that. I don't think it was just for WWE. I think they never called her that. But anyway, she's my girl, and I'm glad she's okay. The last little tidbit we saw from this episode was really fun. Eva Marie attending the big old premiere of The Rock's movie. We knew she was there. We saw her on the red carpet, photos of her on the red carpet, and I kind of wondered at the time, oh, she's the only diva there. What's up with that?
I was wondering why The Rock had called her, but now it makes sense with the manager. It's kind of give her that little bit of a stepping stone, and I feel like because she wants to be the next Rock, it's a perfect mentor, right? He's still doing it.
Oh, yeah.
He's still killing it.
Yeah, and the fact that he wants her to come and be on his red carpet is kind of a big deal. Do you think that she can be the next, like, the female Rock? Go.
I don't know her enough.
You haven't seen enough yet?
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I'm still learning about her as far as wrestling. You know, I haven't seen her in any movies or TV shows. I mean,
that's a good point.
Can she act? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know until I see it.
What do you think, George?
I think no, because Dwayne Johnson is probably one of the most charismatic people, not just in WWE, but in all entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can't really teach. And it's already been a few years, and 2 years into The Rock's career, that guy was showing so much more personality, so much versatility, and just everything in general. And it's been 2 years. We even on Total Divas, where we've seen the most of Eva Marie, we haven't really seen that much of her as far as the character, the personality, the entertainment factor, the just consistently making us smile and laugh. So, I mean, maybe not, but she's got a long way to go to be the next Rock. A long way.
Yeah. Well, I've interviewed Eva like 4 or 5 times. I feel like I've kind of spent a good chunk of time with her. And I definitely see that in her. But I think it's not just up to her. At this point, she has gone so far in the WWE and has made already an impression on the WWE universe.
I think my chair's been shrinking
George is having chair issues. But it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens with her.
She's definitely got the drive.
For sure.
She's got the work ethic.
And the look.
Yeah.
And the way that she's improved her wrestling skills in the last few, even just weeks and months. Has that not impressed you, George, as a real wrestling fan?
Absolutely, it has.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? She's got the drive, she's got the work ethic, she's got the door of opportunity, she's got the right mentors, the right people around her. I think it's more if the fans are gonna accept her and like her. Okay? She's having a hard time getting the fans to like her as a wrestler. Is acting her forte? I don't know. Because I like The Rock as an actor.
Super insightful, girl.
I like The Rock as an actor. I know more of him that way than I do as a wrestler. I don't know if I would be an Eva fan as an actress.
If you'd go see her movie
I
or,
wouldn't.
yeah.
I don't think she can carry a movie. I know she's nothing close to that point, but I mean, it's honestly, I think it's just up to the fans.
She's got to get there, yeah.
The fans hating her isn't a concern because everybody hated The Rock too when he first started. And I was talking to somebody about this too the other day, and you can teach Eva Marie all the great things. She can look great. She can do all the moves that look good. But I think the one thing that she really has to master in order for that is the psychology aspect of it. I mean, maybe you more so, just not as a wrestling fan, but it's a lot more psychology based. It's not about just doing the moves. It's about playing to the crowd, reacting to the crowd. Yes, it may be choreographed, but not everything is like planned in advance. A lot of times you have to go along with how the match is going. Yeah, improv a lot. And I think that's going to be her biggest struggle.
Because it's an experience thing.
Exactly. And sometimes people just don't get it. People just don't get it no matter how hard they work or how long they work. They sometimes just don't get it. And I'm afraid that she might be one of those people that, as great as she may look, as much as she improves the psychology aspect of pro wrestling, she might not get, ever. I mean, I hope she does. I really hope she does. But as from what I've seen, I haven't seen that part of it. She looks good doing it, but now that's half the battle. Not even half the battle. That's a minority of the battle. Just the other stuff, the psychology of it. That's what I want to see.
For sure. Well, our expectations are high for Eva Marie, and we will be happy to watch her attempt to play those out for the rest of the season. And on that note, let's get to the segment that I can only assume you all enjoy most, because I know I do. News and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Now, the reason why this is so important is because here at AfterBuzz TV, the Total Divas After Show, I sort of pride us on giving you the scoop and telling you what's up before you hear it anywhere else. And I know that last week we told you all, you know what? Amanda from Tough Enough be hanging out. She's with all the Total Divas girls. She's backstage when she has no Tough Enough business being backstage. And we assumed last week on our show that Amanda is joining the cast of Total Divas. And I can only tell you now that while we have no still reason to confirm that that's 100% true, she's hanging out with Eva Marie. They're tweeting pictures together. They're traveling together. They are backstage together at Raw. She is hanging out with the Total Divas. She has no other reason to be there. I am telling you, still, Amanda is going to be.
I think I saw reports of her kind of reporting to Orlando for the Performance Center on the days that she's not training. So
right, and they were like, that Christy Olson told us what's up. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was the one that told you, but whatever.
Right. Well,
whatever.
Not even. Speaking of things that we told you all weeks ago, I know this is one that G. Herm is not going to get up into, because if you remember a few weeks ago during the WrestleMania episode, we saw Mama Bella in a big old oversized WrestleMania sweatshirt. And if you were watching the AfterBuzz TV show, I said to everybody, you know what? That doesn't seem like it's quite Mama Bella's size. Whose sweatshirt is that? I guarantee you Mama Bella is banging somebody behind the scenes, and we're going to learn that she's going to be the next WWE superstar wife. I'm sorry. I got to back up. I was right. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, and I don't want to be that girl, but I guessed this, and now I want to report to you all that Mama Bella is engaged to John Laurinaitis, former Raw GM and Executive Vice President of Talent Relations at WWE. John Laurinaitis Mama Bella, be engaged. So they tweeted out a picture, Nikki and John Cena, who John actually had a match with John Laurinaitis in 2012. Yes, this is the point where I figured everything out, and now I look to George for the actual wrestling details.
It's funny because, like...
Tell us what's up, George.
It's funny because John Laurinaitis, he was one of the guys who was in charge of hiring people, finding and hiring people, and, you know, kind of bring it all down back to bacon, even kind of going on with the show that comes after Wags, is that rumor has it that he found Alicia Fox and Kelly from Wags, which is right after Total Divas,
I've heard
looking
that.
at a bikini catalog.
And they both had very long, successful.
And now look at them, they're all
Alicia
Total Divas,
still.
so that kind of brings it all down. But it's funny, like a lot of people, some people mention in the chat room, but I don't know, maybe we'll see like a spinoff. And I kind of thought of the Bellas as kind of the Kardashians of wrestling in terms of like the mom. Obviously, we don't really see. There's never like an episode.
Last week that their mom is like the Kris Kardashian.
There's never like an episode that revolves around the mom, but we've seen a lot of the mom obviously on the show, just kind of being that influential figure, kind of like the Kris Jenner of the show. Yeah,
yes,
but,
you said that.
Yeah, exactly. And now look, I mean, first off, the Total Divas. I know it wasn't necessarily built around the Bellas. It was just kind of like
it is now.
They were looking at a show to do around divas. The Bellas were looking to do a reality show about them. Hey, let's hire these girls back and, you know, put it all together. So not to say, I mean, it kind of, you know, fit together.
Full circle.
But I mean, obviously, and especially with today's episode, we didn't really see Paige or Natty or Foxy. But
that's fine by me.
And I think that the majority of the episodes are really about the Bellas. They've been a consistent thing about divas. So maybe not. We might see a spinoff soon. Because if so, you got Bellas. You still got Cena, Bryan in the mix. You have the
but
mom,
it would kill
Laurinaitis.
Total Divas. This is what everyone is saying, and this is kind of even what we have talked about from the beginning. Like, and we've called it Being Bella. It's going to be called Being Bella when it happens, but it's going to have to wait until Total Divas is over because it would kill Total Divas because they are
Would you watch
Total
it?
Divas. Oh, I would be obsessed. I would watch it twice. I would be right here in the lead anchor chair giving you the AFTERBUZZ breakdown.
Now you have the Laurinaitis family tree. His brother is a former wrestler, Road Warrior Animal from Legion of Doom. His nephew is one of the top linebackers for the St. Louis Rams, James Laurinaitis. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's all this thing where it's like you split them apart, but there's still so much more to do with them.
Right.
So maybe take away the Bellas, but who knows? Maybe Sasha Banks might be a little bit more, you know, dramatic as far as maybe it might replace that Bella thing. Maybe bring
Amanda.
Bring in Amanda. You know, maybe bring in, you know, Daria if she gets picked up. You know, who knows? There's a couple Australian chicks on that. You know, throw in Emma. She might be stealing stuff on Total Divas. You know, who knows?
Get Gigi up in there. Have her fight with Emma.
Exactly. So I think they'll be fine if the Bellas leave. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, especially since we hear so much about the Bellas being at the end of their WWE career. You know, who knows?
They get
maybe
a show.
Yeah, they get a spinoff on life after WWE.
We can't forget that they both just signed new 3-year deals, but that doesn't mean that WWE wouldn't be willing to let them go do a reality show and get paid in the meantime.
And that's what I was going to say, in the business aspect, if that's going to blow up your brand even more than what it is.
Especially now, you think about it too. You got Total Divas, and yes, maybe they signed a 3-year deal. That doesn't mean that they're going to be free and clear to do whatever they want. Now WWE can have 2 reality shows, Total Divas and Being Bella. Yes. So that's again, that's 2 hours now of possible reality TV show that's captured. Yeah, on D. So.
And they're just getting more mainstream. There's more news about them every day. Just today, I open up TMZ and listen, nothing makes me happier than all of a sudden seeing Total Divas news on TMZ. Your girls, Paige and Alicia Fox, got themselves in a little margarita tossing bar fight, like an old school bar fight not too long ago. This weekend, they were in Baltimore for Raw, and they were at, by all means, a very fancy steakhouse, like a really nice place.
Yeah.
And the reports say that this woman who is sort of a regular barfly came in and started kind of harassing Paige and Foxy. She was taking videos and photo, and like I said, margaritas flew between the two groups, and everybody, including Paige and Foxy and this woman, were all asked to leave the establishment. This was just a few days ago. So this was a report on TMZ. We hear of Foxy and Paige getting themselves in more trouble, and a lot of people on social media were saying, ugh, this reeks of a a Total Diva storyline. Speaking of news and gossip, we kind of think that they're past filming for a second half of 4th season and that now they probably are just shooting for the 5th season.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard conflicting reports about people seeing cameras there or not. Some people, I heard one source that said there were no cameras out there, so obviously not for Total Divas. Another source says that they did see cameras there, so...
They are definitely shooting right now for Total Divas.
I just don't know if that incident was for Divas, so wait and find out. Stay tuned.
I'm positive that we'll see it. And I gotta say, I'm becoming kind of concerned for Paige at this point. And even for Foxy. Foxy's been in the WWE for almost 10 years without incident, without getting herself in trouble. And now she starts hanging out with Paige, and now she's tossing margaritas. Paige got herself in a lot of trouble last week, and I'm concerned about her. What do you think?
I was going to say, Alicia Fox kind of, early on, she kind of had this thing with Edge, where she broke up Edge and Vicky Guerrero's wedding. She was the wedding planner. That Alicia Fox, she's cray-cray. And then she moved to London and met some guy, and then kind of came back as a dancer. But that's the wrestling side of it. But yeah, I don't know. Even Paige. I mean, again, I'm kind of. Somebody tweeted Road Dogg, and he tweeted back and said, and I quote, It's a reality show. It's all scripted. And I was like, oh, man, so does Amy Paige never get in trouble?
So we shouldn't hate on her too much for what she's given us in Total Divas. All right. Well, guys, I don't have any real predictions for next week besides the fact that it's going to be more craziness, and we're going to be here. We're going to be breaking it down for you, and we're going to be giving you whatever exclusive news we figured out because we know what's up. Well, Paige, those are my predictions.
Paige gets proposed to next week. I want to see that.
And a little...
Another thing we knew because we noticed that tattoo on her finger months ago. All right, you guys, I'm going to have the scoop for you on that too. So is George. He's probably going to claim that he figured it out first, but whatever. It'll be me. So everybody, please tell them where to keep up with you this week.
You guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar.
Yeah.
And you can follow me on my road to 400 followers on Twitter at Hermoza, GHERMOZA. I'm also on Instagram under the same exact name.
That's right. And please, everybody, interject with me. What do you think is going to happen on this show? What do you think about my predictions? It's at Christy Reports. And please also check out ChristyReports.com. I have all kind of reality TV scoops for you. This has been all for the AfterBuzz TV Total Divas After Show, but we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week.
Bye.
Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.